Hey, what's up, you guys? WWE fan 0599 here again, and today we're going to review The Gunman. So, The Gunman stars Sean Penn, and what this film is about, it's about this, ex-hitman, basically. He did this job a few years ago, and a few years later, this job he did is basically haunting him. And now these guys are coming after him to kill him. So what did I think of The Gunman? This could have been good. This could have been really good. But no, it ends up being really, really terrible. This movie, oh my goodness, it's awful. This movie is terrible. It is awful, this movie. It's painfully awful. Well, let's get into my positives, and my positives are, I only have one positive with this movie. My only positive is Sean Penn. Sean Penn is good in this movie, I thought Sean Penn was good in this movie. He really was. I did really enjoy him in this movie. He did give a pretty good performance in this movie. He was good. And I do think Sean Penn could be an action star, He definitely tries to show it in this movie. I think just this movie wasn't the best start for him, So, and he got jacked from this movie. He got jacked. Only reason I know that is because he has his shirt off mostly for a lot of the movie. So, yeah, but, Sean Penn was good in this movie. I did like Sean Penn. He was good, so yeah. That's my only positives, so let's get into the negatives, and my negatives are the rest of the acting. The rest of the acting, it's not, except for one person, but the rest of the acting is just dull. Like, it is dull, the rest of the acting. Idris Elba, who? He's not even in this movie all that much. He's just in it for a few scenes, and that's a waste of talent to me. Idris Elba is a great actor to me. I think it was a waste of talent, having him in this movie and barely using him. Let's see, the girl that it's Jasmine something, I forgot her last name, but she plays Annie in this movie, and she's just dull. She's just dull and boring. You could care less if she dies or not, because she's just so dull and boring. Ray Winstone, you can care less about his character too. He's dull and boring, And then Javier Bardem, yes, Javier Bardem is in this movie. Listen, Javier Bardem is a good actor. He really is. But, oh my goodness, in this movie, he is awful. He is a cartoon character. That's how bad he is in this movie. He is terrible. He plays like a drunk in this movie, and it is just terrible. He is awful. It was unbearable to watch him at times. It really was. So yeah. And the writing with this movie, the writing is terrible with this movie. You write these characters to be so dull and so boring that you don't care if they die or not. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. And just the writing is just bad with this movie. It really is. It's so sloppy. It's just so all over the place. It's just terrible. The action in this movie, it's just awful. It really is. The action, they do it Taken 3 style. And this is from the director of the first Taken. No, not the piece of garbage Taken sequels. No, this is the director of the first Taken. And for somehow he makes a movie worse than Taken 3. How? Just how? The action in this movie is just terrible. It's quick cuts. It's just quick cuts galore in this movie. It really is. And I'm like, just show what's going on. I want to see who's punching who. I don't want quick cuts every 5 seconds. Actually, 0.5 second, I should say. So yeah, the action wasn't good in this movie. This movie is so boring. This movie's boring. I almost fell asleep. I did twice. I almost fell asleep twice during this movie. It is so boring. Boring. Listen, Black Hat was boring as well, but at least that had action, and great directing with it. This has only one thing going for it, and that's Sean Penn. That's it. everything else, you know, it's just boring with this movie. It really is. The dialogue's terrible. The directing is not good at all with this movie. It really isn't. So yeah, just, man, I had interest in this movie. I really did. I thought this was going to be a fun action film, but no, it was just awful. It's one of the worst movies I've seen this year. So yeah. So it's time for my official grade on The Gunman. My official grade on The Gunman is a D-. This movie is awful. I couldn't stand this movie. This movie's terrible. If you want to check it out, go ahead, see it for yourself, but I warned you. So yeah, this movie was terrible. I couldn't stand it. It was awful. It's getting a D-. So what'd you guys think of The Gunman? Leave it in the comment section below. And I'm WWE Fan 0599, and we will see you all later. Peace.